Head back in 10 minutes to watch us assemble this beautiful flat cake. So,
countdown. They'll give you a countdown.
Thanks for joining us today. Sorry we had a little bit of technical difficulty. We're here to show you how to make a flag.
Together with Driscoll's, we created a pie crust inspiration for this past Thanksgiving. We made a lemon chiffon sheet cake here.
Cake. It would be the same equivalent of 2 layers of a 8 or 9 inch cake, and it fits into I think it's 18 by. It's also called a half sheet pan. But what you really want to worry about, I think, is the depth.
Right.
Because some of the other versions.
This cake is that you don't have to take the cake out of the pan when you're bringing it to a barbecue or to a party.
Yeah.
You just
This morning now. I'm going to show you what this looks like, and this is a proof that this needs to be piped as soon as right hand and your left here. And the right is going to put pressure, so you want to twist as much as you can, and then you're going to put this hand and it's going to drop. I'm going to do a bunch of these at a time. It's a little bit of a feeling. You're going to push your tip down. See this little tip right there at the end. So that's really the difference in the. Typically, they're just flavored with vanilla, and we put a little lemon zest in there just for a little touch. So I think that makes it just also a little bit different. I Instagram for the last couple of days. If you download the recipe, I just recommend you re-download it. I was retesting it this morning, and I wanted to put some extra tips.
that people often have with frosting, especially in the summer, is that they're not very stable. And so oftentimes for the 4th of July, you might be taking your cake to frosting just slides right off the cake. And so what I really like about Judy's frosting recipe here is that, and so why don't you show us how to put the frosting into the bag.
This is from a taco. You can get this anywhere, and this way, when you're smoothing it out, your wrist and your knuckles don't get in the way. I do them the day in advance. You could do them even a couple of days in advance to save time and break it up. But it makes sure that the outside is crisp and that the center is chewy. Piping bag, and I like this because no matter what you're doing, how little it is, there's nothing worse when the bag is too small and then you can't get it in a spatula. And just want to get it really inside. The folding back of the sides makes sure that it does like a full birthday cake, which is like full 2 layers.
Yeah.
So it's meant to be a middle layer and then the top layer and then all the way around and then a little bit of decoration. So up. And another cool little trick is this guy. So I just tied this with a little rubber band, but if you bake a lot,
In this size, but then when you get to making the stars, you're going to actually need to pipe out frosting if you have not made your own homemade meringue.
Is a 1M Wilton tip. It's probably the most versatile tip out of all the frosting.
Boxes of raspberries and about 1.5 of the containers of blueberries.
Fruit and making lots of fun other desserts as well, and making, I don't know, it's kind of fun to make these little cocktails.
Yeah.
People love when I'm around because they get to eat my frosting. Yeah. All right, so to make sure you get all those little tips. Things like the sugar dissolving, making sure that it's not gritty so that when you get the final result that you don't get this. Making them the day before, like I said, is important. There are some people out there who talk about leaving them in the oven and what kind of texture you like with your actual meringue, but I would suggest just leaving them out on the counter, in the sheet pan. I ended up bringing the tester cake over to my office and shared it with my friends. And I was so destroyed because I had left them on there for so long that the chewy center, you want to unfortunately put them on sort of last minute, right before serving.
Right.
But you could have everything else ready to go, like all the berries and things like that. I just put a little bit of frosting on the bottom just to act as a glue.
No. Which is, you can search cakes or feedfeed.com.
You're going to push the tip down, hold it for a second so that it actually splays out, and then pull up really.
You really never know the difference, only by taste.
The final lick here, and
Thanks for joining us.
thanks for joining us. Anyone else have any questions for us?
Bremer.
Ooh, that's a good question. I
Oh,
think,
this is fun too, but what's your recipe?
it's a mishmash of both.
Maybe we should get the crew here and sample it.
I think